Well, guys, once again, good evening. I was waiting a couple of seconds, extra seconds, maybe some of you are having issues to take part of the session, maybe. But anyway, well, guys, we have to start. Of course, we're about to finish our cycle 4. We still have one cycle left before we actually start B2, but as usual, the whole idea is to continue working. Remember, guys, that in terms of content, today and tomorrow will be the final sessions. Well, of course, we're working on the part related to the project development. That is why also in tomorrow you will be working on content in general. And then on Thursday, we will have our final exam. On our session of tomorrow, we will refresh once again our memory a little bit related to the aspects of the parameters for the speaking part. I already sent you an email. Okay, with the information, I just need you to refresh your memory. Okay, today the sound is actually taking part of the PC instead of my earphones. That's it. Well, let's take attendance, guys, so we can start. Let me stop sharing the camera for a moment. I don't know, maybe you have any question? Okay. Maybe because there was a microphone open, that is why I was asking you. But let's start. Saray Acevedo. But not here for the moment. Cristian Albarracín.
Here, teacher.
Okay. Andrés Álvarez. Not here for the moment. Joelia Ayala.
Here, teacher.
Okay. Andrea Vaca.
Here, teacher.
Okay. Gilbert Cárdenas.
I'm here, teacher.
Okay. John Carrero. Not here for the moment. Brian Cordero.
Hello, teacher.
Okay. Stephanie Córdoba.
I'm here, teacher.
Okay. Silvia Durán. Not here for the moment. Freddy Fonseca.
I am here.
Okay. Judy Lisette Liscano.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Diana Lisette Lozada.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Daniela Lozada.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Andrea Juliana Muñoz. I think I saw her.
Yes, present, teacher. Sorry, I have a problem with my computer.
Okay, no problem. Natalie Joana Pérez.
Here, teacher.
Okay. Mayra Juliet Pinzón.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Mayra Alejandra Plata.
Hi, teacher. Present.
Hello. Ahora sí, bueno. Harold David Rodríguez.
Hi, teacher. I'm here.
Okay, Harold, let me give access here to Saray. Angelica Stephanie Sandoval.
Hi, teacher. I'm here.
Okay. Daniela Fernanda Sierra.
Hi, teacher.
Hi, Daniela. Ana María Velasco.
Hi, teacher. Present.
Hi, Ana. Jennifer Jimena Vera.
Here, teacher.
Okay, very good. And Saray Acevedo.
Present, teacher.
There you are. Just to make sure for the moment we don't have Andres Alvarez, John Carrero, Silvia Duran, and that would be it. Okay. Let me go back. Well, guys, of course, we continue working on our book. Yesterday, we, let's say, officially started with our final unit, which is unit 4. In terms of grammatical component, we were talking about passive voice, a kind of review. And we were analyzing all the different combinations that we have related to passive voice. We still have a language component to study tonight. We continue with the idea of passive voice, but in this case, we're going to focus on 2 verbs, actually, talking about have and talking about get, okay? You will notice that it's basically the continuation of what we studied yesterday. Of course, we are talking about the 2 pages from our book, which are pages 40 and 41. I just wanted to clarify that part. Well, guys, I'm going to zoom in. Let me like this so you don't see me suffering in here. And we're going to start in this case reading this kind of article. You know, we will be talking about the future a little bit at the beginning. And in this case, it says the future of your mind according to Hollywood. So we will be reading, let's say, in this case, 5 predictions connected to some ideas that have been already shared on some movies, of course. In some cases, you would consider some aspects are a little bit, why not crazy? And other cases that look actually very possible to happen. I'm going to read the first part. It says, check out our top 5 mind-bending future possibilities from Hollywood films. Let's read them because then after we read, we're going to vote related to the information that is being shared. Daniela Lozada, would you read number 1, get rid of bad memories, please?
In Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Clementine and Joel have their memories of each other erased by a doctor when they split up. But things get complicated when they meet again.
Very good. Probably some of you have already watched this movie. Let's have a look at the second future possibility. It says plant ideas in other people's minds. Stephanie, please, could you read it?
Wouldn't it be incredible to plant an idea in someone's mind while they are asleep? Then, when they wake up, they believe it's their idea. That's all possible in the Christopher Nolan film Inception.
That would be it.
There are a movie of these possibilities. El origen, the origin. It's
Yeah,
good.
that is Inception. That's the name.
Yes, it's the
Inception. It's really
Sorry, I didn't read.
movie.
Yeah, you know, because of marketing, the names tend to change. Yeah, because the origin doesn't sound that appealing, you know, like to put the name in English, but that's the one. Great. Christian, could you read number 3? Learn to do anything instantly.
In the classic sci-fi film, The Matrix, the characters don't waste time actually learning new skills. They get them downloaded directly to their brains. How convenient.
Hey, memories. Freddy, could you read it, please?
Yes, perhaps we won't have bad memories erased, but we will have good ones implanted instead. We will choose the ones we want, just like we choose clothes in a shop. Both the original version and the 2012 remake of Total Recall explored this idea in typical Hollywood style.
Actually, I haven't.
I haven't watched it.
You did today?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, that's okay. And Andrea, what about number 5? Record and play back your experiences.
Teacher Andrea Muñoz.
I miss my eyes. No, Baca.
Oh,
Which one, teacher?
Number 5, record and play back your experiences.
Or perhaps
we'll be able to record all our experience so that we or other people can watch them again. This is the future reality in Brainstorm, a film from 1981.
5 different, let's say, ideas that somehow have been presented in movies, you know, we have already watched some of them. And as you stated, well, probably there are some that we are not that familiar with, but basically we were talking about like that important component of the movie. Guys, after reading these 5, let's say, ideas to be used in the future, I would like to know your opinion. Let's vote on them. Which ideas do you think will come true in the future? Here we have, let's say, the titles of the paragraphs, and maybe you will consider actually some, you know, ideas, or even in terms of research. Let me see the chat. People have already advanced. Mayra says all of them, like there is no reason like to choose all of them, and that would be it. Okay. Let's see. Anyway, I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds maybe just to think about them. What do you think? If actually you agree with all of them. Okay, Mayra, don't worry. Yeah, guys, if you consider that all of them are possible, well, of course, that's your point of view. Okay, let me reply here a message. Let me write down something. Okay, 17 of you out of 22. Let me change your view for a moment while I make an adjustment. And then we check your answers. I can't cover it, sorry. So, although all of them seem possible, why not? You guys have voted as probably the most probable to come true. Number 5, record and play back your experiences. On second place, plan ideas in other people's minds. And there is a kind of tie between number 3 and 4. Learn to do anything instantly. And by memories. Me sale algo en el chat, ahora sí. Sure, Anna, here it is. I sent it. Okay. Let me send it again because also John is now here in the session. Very good. I know that everybody has a different opinion. Probably some of you didn't vote on that one, but the majority has decided, let's put it like that. And maybe actually that would be kind of interesting. Guys, this was question number 1. We are going to answer 2 more questions. Remember that our questions, everything is based on what we read a few minutes ago from our book. Let me remind you, page 40, The Future of Your Mind According to Hollywood. Let's go to the second question. It says, if you could be manipulated as suggested in the article, what skill would you download first? Remember that in, let's say, paragraph number 3, We were talking about learn to do anything instantly and just to download any skill that you wanted. In that order of ideas, what skill would you download first? So it's the same link that we used for the previous activity. And guys, the idea that you only write the skill. It's not necessary to write a complete sentence. Nothing that you only have here in this case, 25 characters. The thing is that it's not like a complete sentence, you know, just the skill that you would like to download to learn instantly. Okay. Let's see what your opinion is. It's still in the chat, the link. Yes. So I'm going to give you again a couple of minutes to think that skill that you would like to download just like this. Well, there are only 9 answers, so we have 10 seconds left. I'm gonna give you like a couple of extra seconds because you're like, well, 22, 21. There are like 10 answers missing. Left. We'll see. Let me uncover it. Oh my God, that's interesting. Of course, all of us have different perspectives. I was expecting, no, actually, I really like that these are the answers. Get rid of bad memories, learn to do anything, but like what? You know, like what a skill in particular? For example, here someone says programming. Okay, that was a skill in particular. Be a polyglot, that would be great. To plant ideas, memory prodigy, remember everything, learn to do anything, faltó la N acá. Record all your experiences, anyone the fun is learning. Me imagino que se acabó el espacio. Learn languages quickly, yeah, that would be great. You know, English is easy, but the other ones get complicated. But of course, that's my personal opinion. Okay, very good. Well, guys, let me see here. Final question. In this case, it's more like open-ended. Remember that in one of the texts, we were talking about buying memories. In this case, in particular, we were talking about, let's say, idea number 4, just in case you forgot where we took this information from. The question says, whose memories would you buy and why? This is open-ended, not like this one that we didn't have like, let's say, enough words. In this case, now we have 250. Of course, the idea is to provide a little bit of extra information, but it is not necessary to be that detailed. But if you had the chance, the opportunity, whose memories would you buy and why? Probably this requires a little bit of, let's say, extra analysis. So I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to think about it and to write down your ideas. While you continue sending. And let's see how similar or different your answers are. When I met my boyfriend without two. Okay, that's interesting. More memories with the people who are no longer there. Okay. I would like to buy Albert Einstein's ideas because he had a great impact in physics laws and explain some phenomena that were hard to get many years ago. He had a prodigious mind. Okay, that looks elegant. The memories of black steps or the Yasuke, I guess, the black pirate. Sorry. And in the cause is not just a myth, the memories of Beowulf. Okay. I didn't know about those characters, to be honest. Probably the memories of a billionaire. Okay. I will buy my memories of when I was a child. I had a happy childhood, and there are things that with time, they stop remembering. Yeah, unfortunately, that is true. I could also remember more of my grandparents. Let's see. The day I was born, how I learned to walk. Maybe in past, how I learned to walk. And the memories I had experienced when I was less than 5 years old, because I can't remember all of them as an adult. Unfortunately, that happens. Everything that I learned in school and university, this for convenience. A more human reason, I would buy memories of my childhood. For example, I would like to remember my grandpa. He died when I was 4 years old. Okay. Jesus birth because I'm a religious person. Okay, a different perspective. I would like to know how, okay. I would like to know how the life was in the past. Este was ya no lo necesitamos acá. Está aquí de segunda y ahí donde debe ir. Maybe I would buy memories of any important scientific. Because I want to know the day that, okay, because I want to know the way that was thinking and remembering. I want to know the day that was, el día que estaba. I'm confused because I want to know the way that was thinking and remembering. La forma que estaba pensando y recordando. ¿Cómo estaba pensando y recordando?
Tal vez como ellos pensaban y recordaban.
Ah, okay. Because I want to know the way they were thinking and remembering. Ah, okay. Talking about the scientists. Okay, Stephanie, thank you. Around here. I would buy memories of a renamed researcher because she has to have important memories that help me to understand more things. Okay. I would buy happy memories of the people who are no longer with me. Sometimes it is normal to forget details of memories and only we can vaguely remember how they made us feel. That's the truth. I wish I could remember the expressions of those people when they loved me. I would like to buy that too. If I could buy, I would buy, a is singular, those chapters. I would buy memories which belong to brilliant scientists as Albert Einstein and Stephen Hawking. Elon Musk's memory, he has big ideas about the future of humanity. Already read this one, sorry. Maybe I would buy the memories of my parents or my grandmother when they were children, because it would be nice to know more about their experiences and how they enjoyed the little things. Guys, excellent. Thank you very much for providing all these different opinions. Notice that in general aspects, we have different perspectives, more related to the personal point of view. In some cases, you are more like thinking in terms of the scientific point of view. And just like we discussed yesterday, in this case, we can't say that there are wrong or right answers. Very good. Well, guys, remember that. Let me share the book again. Remember that we continue talking about our mind, you know, and in terms of grammar, we were talking about passive voice yesterday. Today, we continue talking about passive voice, but as I was telling you a few minutes ago, we are going to focus in two forms in particular. We're going to talk about have, and we're going to talk about get. The good thing is that actually, if I have something done or get something done, that means exactly the same. At the end, the idea, like in using have in this case as a particular example, when we use it, it's because we're talking about, let's say, a service or something that another person is doing for us. Usually then this grammatical combination is used for services because it's not me. We can say that, why not, I am paying someone for the service that I'm getting. Let's put it like that. And of course, because have and get are verbs, that means that we can use this combination could be in present, could be in past, could be in future, present perfect, any combination. Because at the end of the day, it's another person doing the job for me. For example, we have this statement. It says, I had my car washed. By reading this statement, well, the first thing that we discovered is that, of course, we're talking about past. Notice how the verb changed. And the second idea is that I am not, or well, I didn't wash my car. There was another person in charge of doing that action for me. And notice how the sentence is, let's say, created. I had my car washed. Once again, don't forget that it is a verb at the end of the day. We can say John will have his house painted. Once again, by reading at this statement, we can see that John is not going to paint his house. There will be another person in charge of doing that job. As I was telling you, get is pretty much the same. You know that usually in English, the main differences that we may have would be like the type of context to be provided. We can use get, and it is going to be less formal. Guys, when we say less formal, it doesn't mean incorrect, right? We gotta be very careful with that distinction. It is just a second possibility, probably a little bit more common in conversations, but at the end of the day, you can use whatever combination you want. For example, the students get their essays checked. Once again, by reading at this statement, I am, or in this case, the students, they are not checking their exams, their essays. Why did I say exam? It will be done by another person. I'll get my hair cut next week. Probably this is the most common statement to present this topic because this is one of the services that usually needs another person to be done. And finally, he got his washing machine fixed. If we have a look at the statement, that means that he didn't fix his washing machine. It was another person. Notice, the first idea was in present. The second idea was in future. And the third idea using was. So it doesn't matter the tense. That's not relevant in this context. The idea at the end of the day is that I am not doing the action. I have another person in charge of doing that action for me, and that is why usually we use it when we're talking about services, okay? Well, guys, questions from this part. It is a kind of mini connection of the aspects that we studied yesterday related to passive voice, but I want to make sure that the idea is clear for you.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Very good. Yes.
So we can use get also to passive forms.
In this type of sentences, the ones that we are having a look tonight, you can change get for have. For example, this sentence, I can say, I got my car washed. And the sentence is exactly the same. If you use get, it's okay. Or you can say, John will get his house painted. And the idea is exactly the same. In this grammatical combination, have and get mean the same. Okay.
Okay, teacher, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, that is like the first context that we need to have in mind. I am not performing the action. It's someone else. That is why it's a little connected to passive voice. Remember that yesterday we said that one of the main characteristics that passive voice has, or maybe one of the most common uses, is that we don't really know who's performing the action. In this case, we kind of do, but definitely the action doesn't rely on me. It relies on another person. Of course, as usual, the best way to, let's say, make sure that the topic is clear is by practicing. This is what you're going to do, guys. Here we have 15 statements. They are a lot. But by looking at them, the idea is that you can make the transformation of the sentences by making them with have. You know, we already know that get is also a possibility that we can use. So don't worry if you want to use get or if you want to use have. As you see, all the statements, let's say, are normal. Let's put it in that way, or not normal. They are using the grammatical structure of active voice. That's the technical name that we should be using. The idea now is that on each statement, we're going to make the transformation. In this case, in a specific, using get and using have. So look at the first example. It was the painter will paint his bedroom. How could we transform the sentence? It would be, he will have his bedroom painted. So notice how the sentence look. Once again, we can see that this person is not painting his own bedroom. There would be another person in charge painting it, okay? That is going to be the idea on this part. Guys, you will be assigned one of the boxes when we get back, of course. And the idea is that you are going to make the transformation, like you are, let's say, ready. It doesn't matter if it is, notice in this case was future. The second is in past. We have also present perfect. It doesn't matter. The idea is that we can make the transformation. So from active, like we have it in here, it is transformed into passive, but this form of passive in particular. Okay? Guys, questions? Questions?
No, teacher.
No, teacher.
Okay. So guys, first of all, you will be practicing in groups. Okay, I'm gonna send you the link to the chat. I'm gonna, of course, create the groups, and this is what you will be doing. No, I'm not gonna send you the link, sorry. When we get back, this is what I'm going to show you. And then I'm going to say, this person, choose a statement. I'm not gonna assign you the statement. We will have a look at it. And then we will make the respective transformation. Don't worry about the colors because you may be thinking, but here had a different color like in here. The colors are just, you know, like to, let's say, make it beautiful at the end of the day. So here we have the statement. Sorry. He will have his bedroom painted. That would be the idea. Okay. So I'm gonna give you here. So take a screenshot, you know, of these statements. You can already share. I already made the adjustment. So I'm gonna give you, okay, they usually have to check the numbers, making sure that everybody's here. In case that we have double names. Give me a second. Mhm. And the people that have problems with connection, I'm gonna send you like in groups of 4 people. Just in case. Okay, guys, very good. Remember, the idea is for you to make the transformation, help each other, okay? I know that there are a lot of sentences to be adjusted, but keep in mind, let me go back to the slide, that they are verbs. So they can go in present, in past, in future, any transformation is possible. When you make it now to the proper transformation, keep the alignment. Notice that this sentence was in future. The painter will paint his bedroom. So in this case, when we make the transformation, it has also to be in future. Make sure of that, okay? Guys, there are, well, we already have number 1. There are 14 sentences, but you will be working in groups. So in total, you will have 12 minutes, okay? Guys, do you have any questions about the instructions?
Teacher,
Yes,
it depends on the time that the sentence is written.
yes. We have to be very careful because if the sentence
Okay.
is in future, then when you make the transformation, it has to keep the tense. So notice that these both sentences are in future.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Yeah, that's important. For example, this is present perfect. So when you make the transformation, make sure that we respect it and we keep the perfect tense in this passive voice using have.
I thought that everything was with will.
Ah, okay. No. No. Only the first one because of the original idea. No, we have passive voice, we have going to, past simple. We have all the combinations. Okay. Guys, did you already take a screenshot of the slide?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
Yes, teacher.
good. Perfect. Because I'm gonna send you to the groups and remember that then. I don't want you like to go back and then wait and probably some minutes go by and blah, blah, blah. Okay, guys, let's begin. When everybody's in their rooms, I'm gonna send you the message that you have 12 minutes. There you go. Hi, Joely.
Hola, profe.
Hola, Ana.
Es que creo que en el grupo 4, si no es mal.
El grupo está Andrea, Diana y Stephanie. ¿Sí?
Sí, sí, en ese.
Perfecto. No problem. There you go. Well, guys, welcome back. Most of you are already here, 22. Yes, not all of you are here. Well, I hope that you could manage to, let's say, transform all the sentences, keeping in mind the intention. Talking about passive voice, we were focusing on the verbs. Well, let's say the verb actually have, and we can't forget that get is also the other possibility, but for the moment only with have. Let's see.
Teacher, this topic is very difficult.
Yes, teacher, we didn't understand.
Yes, teacher, it was
Yes,
hard. We
teacher.
didn't finish
Hard.
I'm
all
very
the activity.
confused.
You don't have to put anything about that in the exam, teacher.
Please, please.
Actually, it is easier than passive voice in general. Well, I know that the transformations can be tricky, but that's the idea to practice. And if there is a moment to make mistakes, this is the moment. And then eventually in the exam, everything will be just perfect, I hope. Well, here we have the boxes, to be transformed. Let's start with group number 1. So let's say that the first person to represent group number 1 is going to be Natalie Perez, okay?
Okay, teacher.
Okay. Let's start with this one. It says, has the web designer made your website yet? In this case, we have to keep the present perfect. And it is a question.
As a question, yes?
So has the web designer made your website yet?
It's the website. Teacher, I'm not sure. It's the website. It's the web designer finished your website? I'm not sure.
Group number 1, any help for Natalie? No help for Natalie. In which group could you transform this sentence? Maybe there was a group that actually managed.
I have it has the website have made yet, but I don't know if it is correct.
Repeat it, Christian.
Has the website have made yet?
Has the website?
Teacher, what about, has your website been designed by the web designer yet? It's better?
Your website being designed. Well, that looks like continuous. It is getting closer.
And what about, has your website have made yet?
Let me turn it. Have you had your website made yet? Notice that now we are using, in this case, well, the first half because it's the auxiliary, right? And the second half is the transformation that we need because it's the verb in past participle. And by reading the statement, we can see that I am not creating the website. It's another person. Any one of you guys had this possibility?
No, teacher.
No, teacher,
No,
I
teacher.
think because the phrase is talking about the website, the person who is doing the website. So I think that maybe could stay at the answer.
Okay. Well, probably, let's not call it like a mistake. Remember that we are still talking about passive voice, right? And when we talk about passive voice, we focus on the object and not, in this case, the person who's doing the action. So that is why we care, let's put it like that, in this case, on the website compared to the original sentence. Let me turn it. that was talking about or beginning with web designer. We don't care, let's say, about web designer because that would be active voice. We care about the website because that was the recipient of the action. Let's put it like that. Here in passive voice, but useful. Okay.
Teacher, I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
In that example, why we use the verb have in the past, had?
Well, actually, it's not past. It is present perfect. Being have the auxiliary and had the verb in past participle. So we keep, let's say, the alignment on tense. This is present perfect. Notice we have has and made. Once again, because in the original idea, we were talking about the doer of the action, but then now we care about the object, but it is not past. It is present perfect, have had. Yes?
And we have to change both verbs, made, make, and have, yes?
In this
Not just made.
well, we need to keep as the website name. Well, the thing is that the idea, you know, is to include have because the intention of passive voice in this passive voice is to put have in all the statements. All the statements need have, you know? Now, the type of tense is what the original sentence is going to let us know. If we use have in present, in past, or future. So let's say that made, it's part of the statement, but has in this case to be included. So the statement is in passive voice, but in present perfect. Okay, let's try a couple more, maybe. Let's go back. Let's start with a short one, maybe. I think that this one could be a good one to analyze. From the second group, Daniela Lozada, the statement says, my bike was stolen yesterday. First of all, the statement is in past, right?
I don't know. My bike was have I don't know how to say stolen in have participle.
Here is already past participle.
My bike was have yesterday stolen. I don't know.
Well, it is a little bit trickier than I thought.
Teacher, I have some idea. I don't know if it's right, but I guess that maybe could work. I had my bike stolen yesterday.
That would be the one. How did you come up with this conclusion?
Teacher, because I know that they are talking about my bicycle, so I know that the subject is I, and I always have to put have like after the subject, and later we have to put the complement, and later the main verb in past participle. But I get confused maybe when we have to make question, but in affirmative forms, I guess that I got it.
Okay, good. Yeah, I know that probably when the statements are longer, it gets a little bit more confusing, right? But as Harold says, probably if we start with affirmative and then we move to the more complex ones, it will be like a better process. So in the case of this one, as Harold already said, and once again, when we look at the statement, it may look like an obvious conclusion, but I didn't steal my bike, right? Someone else did it. That's the idea of this statement, and we keep the let's say the past connotation, which is what we care about. Okay. Another short one, once again. Let's see this one. It says the mechanic must check my car. Notice that the idea, I want to say the same intention, like it's my main purpose is the same. I am not checking my car. It's another person in charge of checking it, which is the mechanic. So let's transform this sentence so we can include it have, and then we can make it like in passive voice. Yeah, Angelica, after we finish the exercise, I share the link with you. Let me ask from group number 3, Jennifer. Probably you had the opportunity to analyze this with your group. An affirmative statement. The mechanic must check my car. Let's make it now with passive voice, but with the same idea. I am not checking the car, it's another person.
Teacher, we use get. My car get checked by the mechanic, or
My car gets checked by the mechanic.
yes.
Well, it is passive voice, but
Yes, we were confused about that.
you know, the sentence is correct in passive voice in general, but not like precisely using what we have tonight. Stephanie, yes. You raise your hand.
Maybe I must have my car checked by the mechanic.
Okay. By the mechanic would be, let's say, extra information to be included if we want. One of the things that we said yesterday is that the doer is not that relevant, but if we consider it relevant, as you already said, Stephanie, using by is a good possibility. So notice that we keep the modal. So we, let's say, respect the alignment of the idea. Once again, I am not checking my car, it's another person, and I'm using have in this combination. Maybe also one thing to keep in mind is that if we compare it to Spanish, we don't have like that perfect translation, right? Because how can we say this sentence? If I say, I must have my car checked. Even in Spanish, that sounds weird, right? How would you translate this one?
Yeah, the translation
Maybe that
is weird.
yo debo hacer revisar mi carro. No sé.
Okay. Tengo que mi carro revisado, something like that. So I know that it's also a point of reference. In some cases, we compare to our first language, and you know, that's part of the learning process. And when we see that perfect translation, things make sense. But that's the thing with this grammatical structure. We don't have that perfect translation into Spanish. And that is why at the beginning, like all these pieces, like they don't fit all together. So from time to time, we have like to have a look how they are organized. Like again, as Harold was saying, we have the subject, in this case, the type of grammar based on the original statement. In this case, we were using the modal. Then the second part would be the object or what I wanted in this case to be checked, talking about my car. And finally, the main verb. So it is tricky because we can't compare it with anything similar to our language, and that can be annoying, especially when there is a new grammatical thing. So we have seriously to think in English. That's the point.
Teacher,
yes.
The verb time change. So first is in present in the and in the yes is past. The time of verb.
Let's say that there is something that we have to keep, and is the use of the modal. Notice that in the original we had must, and in the transformation we have must. The idea is to use have, right? That's the intention. We need to include have in all the sentences. And don't forget that this is, let's say, a new variation of passive voice. So that is why we need also the verbs in past participle. So this is a mini baby of passive voice. Daniela, Losada, you raise your hand.
Teacher, why the subject is I and not the mechanic?
Because precisely that's the intention. I don't want to say the doer of the action. Notice the sentence that Stephanie says. If I begin with the mechanic, it is then active voice and not passive voice. Because who's doing the action? The mechanic. And what I want to say or what I care about is that my card in this case is about to be checked. Who's going to do it? If I want to say would be by the mechanic. But starting with the mechanic is already a sentence in active voice. Angelica. Angelica. You have your hand raised. I see that your microphone is on, but I don't get any sound. I don't know you guys. Sorry, Angelica, there is like a problem. Well, I don't get anything that Angelica probably is saying. Let me know, guys. Ah, okay. Sorry, Angelica. Yeah, there is a kind of like sound, but not your voice. Okay. Let's eliminate it. Let's see. Another, let's say for the moment, short one. This one, I dare this one. The gardener, well, I'm going to turn your microphone on, Angelica, sorry, because there is a noise, but not your voice. So, it says, the gardener has just mowed our lawn. If we analyze the sentence, it's in present perfect. It is active voice. So we have to make it into passive voice. We already, let's say, discussed, like we can't start with the word gardener because that will be started with active voice again. Let me see the chat. I want to keep you with that question for a moment. Maybe from group number 5. Freddy, what do you think? The gardener has just mowed our lawn.
Maybe it could be we has had our lounge mouth.
We has.
We has just had. We has just had. No. Is it correct or wrong?
We have.
We have, not has. Because
We have.
Sorry, we had.
No,
we had.
Okay. Because it's present perfect. We need to keep the idea of present perfect, right?
Okay.
So what you said at the beginning, but not has, I don't know why you combine we with has. Because it's have. And someone was also chipping in. So we have just had what? Remember the organization of the sentences. We as the receivers.
We have had our lawn just moved.
Okay, very good. Just one mini change. Just because it was in the original sentence, right? But that was the idea. Once again, I am being there. In this case, we are being the recipients. Have, because it is the king in this case, let's put it like that. Have had, it is not repetitive. Remember that it is present perfect. So we need have as the auxiliary and had as the verb. Then the object we are talking about, in this case, is our lawn. And finally, the most important verb of the statement, in this case, month. Christian.
Instead of we, can I use us? Us have just had our lawnmower.
Not really, Christian, because us belong to the group of object pronouns, and object pronouns, they can be used, let's say, being a little bit dramatic, exclusively after verbs. Now, in some cases, we say, for example, my friends and me are talking about blah, 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 blah. It is a very common use, but it shouldn't be like that because me is an object pronoun, and in that sentence, it goes before the verb. But people use it in that context in particular, but in this case, we can't begin with us.
It's grammatically incorrect, or that is impossible to use it. Something
No,
like that.
beginning with us, it is like, let's say, impossible to use it, and it wouldn't make sense. I'm telling, like, it is possible when we say statements like, my friends and me are doing an exercise. Let's put it like that.
Okay.
But only that, using me instead of I. That is the only one that is, let's say, a little bit flexible, but it shouldn't be. In this case, we can't begin with us.
Okay.
Okay, Kristen. Any other idea from this one? Okay. Well, we already did this one, which was the example. The painter in the bedroom. Let's eliminate it as well. We are getting run of the short ones. Yeah, let's do this one. This is present simple. It says, the hairdresser cuts my hair every 3 weeks. The hairdresser cuts my hair every 3 weeks. As we see, once again, the sentence is in plain active voice. We have the subject, we have the verb, and we have the complement. So we need to make it passive voice. We need to keep it in present, you know, and I have to make sure that then the sentence means that I don't cut my own hair. Like there is someone else in charge of that action. Maybe Daniela Sierra, would you like to give it a try? The hairdresser.
No, teacher. Really, I don't understand this topic.
Wasn't expecting that. Well, that's
Can I try it?
Right. Can I?
Judy, you want to try?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if it's correct, but I have my hair cut every 3 weeks.
That would be it. I have my haircut every 3 weeks. Very good. Let's see the chat. I do have, Angelica, careful with these combinations.
Teacher, if I was saying that Angelica sent that by the chat, if I want to make emphasis on the sentences that we can put do, or is incorrect?
I see her point. Well, yeah, you know, actually we can use doing affirmative statements when I want to emphasize. Like that would be that sí that we have in Spanish. Como que yo sí me mando cortar el pelo. It is possible to use it, but of course, when we use it, is to make an emphasis in a very specific moment. We don't talk about like that all the time. So in a whole context would be like, I do, like, yo sí hago eso. And well, the statement that Angelica says, hat would be, you know, actually, well, we gotta be careful, Angelica, because if you use hat, we can't use do. You know, because do is the auxiliary, let's say the representative for present, and you're using had as the verb in past. If we eliminate do, had would be correct if the original sentence was in past simple, you know? But remember that in this case, the original sentence was in present. So be careful with that combination. We can't use do and had in the same sentence. If you say I do have, would be okay in terms of emphasizing. Yo sí me mando a cortar el pelo. Okay, Angelica? Well, let's make it a little bit, I don't want to complicate your lives anymore. I'm going to send you anyway the link of this exercise. But we're going to continue practicing, of course, but let's reduce a little bit the level of difficulty. Let's start like with shorter statements, probably. That was my mistake. We began with very complex ones. And in the book, actually, yes. Let's begin with these ones. That will be page 40, okay? It says, use the prompts to write sentences about each picture. I want you to have a look at the four, sorry, not the four. Well, number one is already done, but anyway, that was my mistake. They are not 4 pictures, we have 6. I want to have a look at the 6 pictures. And first of all, look in which pictures the person is actually doing the action by herself, and in which pictures the action or the person is receiving, let's put it like that, the help or the service. For example, look at number 1. We have read palm. As we can see, she's having her palm read, right? As a context, so we keep the same line. All the sentences are going to be, let's say, in present, of course, in present continuous, actually, because let's say that these actions are happening in this precise moment. Let's have a look at sentence number 2. What do you think of sentence number 2? Andrea Muñoz. Is someone doing the action for her, or she's doing her own activity?
It's an action for her, no?
Yeah, she's doing it by herself, right? So see
Yes.
the sentence in present continuous, like in normal present continuous for picture number 2.
She's reading the horoscope. How do you pronounce horoscope?
Horoscope. La H suena horoscope.
Horoscope. Yes. She is reading a horoscope or their.
Hair?
Let's say hair. Yeah, because it's like,
Yes.
you see Gemini, blah, 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 blah. You read your own.
Okay.
Yeah, let's say hair, but we can say if we don't specify. Let's have a look at number 3. Thank you, Andrea. Notice that in number 3, the guy is on an actually like appointment, you know. Of course, that is something that we can't do by ourselves. Actually, we analyze the picture a little bit. We can see that someone else is in charge of taking, or let's say, doing the test on us. So how could we transform this test eyes into a sentence? Remember that we're talking about present continuous, and I am not doing the action. It will be someone else. Yes, Judy, you wanna try?
Yes, I wanna try. I wanna try. He's having his eyes tested.
Tested. Very good. He's
Tasted.
having or getting. We already said that whatever you choose is going to be perfect, guys. His eyes tested. This is the action that is happening in this precise moment. Someone else is performing the test on his eyes. He's not doing it by himself. Here we can see the doctor, right?
Teacher, and we can write she is testing her eye.
That sentence is grammatically correct, Daniela, because that is present continuous. But then the idea of that sentence is that, as you said, she is actually, let's say that is he. would be that he's doing the test in his own eyes. But notice that in this picture, we have a second person, like this is the doctor, and the doctor
Okay.
is doing the
It's other
exam on
person.
him. Yes,
Okay.
that's him.
She's having, he, o bueno, she.
He. Like, ah, well,
She's having.
Judy, could you write down your sentence in the chat, please? So in case that your classmate didn't hear it,
Yes,
can see
please.
it written. Okay, let's have a look at number 4. In number 4, Gilbert, do you think that it is a normal sentence in present continuous or maybe it's with the new grammatical structure? Let's put it like that. It says take blood pressure. Do you see like another person doing the action for him? Gilbert.
She's writing the well in the chat.
You wrote in the chat? No, I don't see the message. Do you see it?
Of Gilbert, yes.
Ah,
I see the
Yes,
message.
he says, I don't have an audio.
oh no, maybe my internet is not working well. I'm sorry, Gilbert. I seriously don't have any message from you in the chat. Did you send it to the WhatsApp group maybe? No. ¿Por qué no me sale la mensaje de Gilbert? The last message that I have is the one that Judy said sent. Well, someone can read it for me, please? What Gilbert sent? Thank you.
But he
Yes, he
he
texted
knows
you. Sorry, teacher, I don't have audio.
Ah, okay. I thought that he had sent the answer. Stephanie, what about you? What do you think if we look at the picture?
I
A
don't
normal
know.
sentence?
He that is I start with him for me. He's having his blood pressure taken.
Okay, that sentence you said he's having his blood pressure, that's embarrassing, pressure taken. It would be correct if we see a second person in the picture, right? But notice the sentence that Angelica sent. She says it's a normal sentence because as we can see, he's actually putting the band on his arm and he's actually like using the device. We don't see a different person in the picture. So he's taking his blood pressure. But the sentence that you said, Stephanie, is grammatically correct. Okay, so just like in this picture, we don't see any other person taking the pressure for him. Okay.
Okay, teacher. Thank you. I understand.
Okay. Let's have a look at picture number 5. Only one person in the picture, right? John, what is she doing?
Sorry, teacher, in picture number what?
5.
Number 5.
Number 5.
She's dyeing her hair, or she's getting her hair dyed.
Well, once again, the second sentence that you say, John, is perfect, but in the picture, is she getting any help to dye her hair?
No, she's doing it on her own.
Perfect. So technically, the first sentence that you said is the one that is describing the picture. And the second sentence that you said, it is grammatically correct. And we could use it if we had like a second person here helping her. But
okay.
That's the idea.
Okay, I got it. Okay, thank you, teacher, for that correction, for that comment.
No, thank you. And let's have a look at number 6. Notice that, okay, number 6, now we have 2 people, right? Mayra Pinzon, we have paint and nails. Remember that we kept present continuous for all the statements.
Teacher, she's having
Good.
Her nails painted.
Yes, perfect. That's the idea. Once again, I'm gonna repeat it because it seems like it is a little bit, let's say, complicated at the beginning, guys. Eventually, you will see that this is really easy to use. We have two people in the picture. One person is helping her to paint her nails. That is the reason why she, or in this case, we have to use the passive form because she is not painting her nails. She has the help of another person, okay? It is getting better, guys.
Yes, teacher, with this exercise,
Yes, it
it's
is.
better.
Yeah, I know the other was like, well, I know that you can do it, of course, but I guess that my mistake was to start like combining all tenses. In this case, we began with present continuous, so we could start like identifying the key points in order to then move to the other tenses. Of course, that was my mistake. Well, guys, on the next part, we have, well, I actually have it here on a slide. Again, we keep it simple, we keep it short, in sense of the type of sentences that we have. Also, the statements are in present simple. Okay, so let's say that we continue a little bit on the same line. Here we have 3 business cards. I'm going to read the instruction for you. Let me make sure that I'm sharing the whole screen. Yes. It says, look at the business cards and discuss. What can you have done in each of the places? Okay. So for example, in the first one, we have Redland Staff Services. Here we have 3 services. It says, we interview applicants for you. We do personality assessment and IQ tests. We analyze applicants' handwriting. So one of the examples would be, you can have your applicant's handwriting analyzed. This is one service that you can get from staff services. Let's have a look at the second card. It says, ready, steady, go. Personal training for people with busy lives. Could you read, please, the 3 services that this card is offering, Brian? Brian? Well, I see him here, but no changes at all. Then I'm going to ask, in this case, Natalie.
Tell me, teacher.
Could you read? Yeah,
Only the first
services.
oh,
No, I already
okay.
read the first one. The card from ready, steady, go.
Okay. The first is we design an exercise program to fit in with your life. We monitor your progress on a weekly or twice weekly basis. We plan your weekly menu and even deliver healthy meals to your door.
Menu. Okay. And we finish these business cards with Porter's Private Investigation Agency. It says discreet, professional throughout. Could you read it, please? Andrea Vaca?
Yes, teacher, the Porter's Private Investigation Agency.
Right. No,
We train
Sorry for
trace
the interruption. Ay, otra vez, lo siento.
we trace long lost relatives. We monitor business competitors. We follow family members.
That would be it. 3 different services in this case. What is going to be the idea? That we make that mini transformation. Let's put it like that. We already have the first example. It says you can have applicants' handwriting analyzed. That would be like the third one from Redland Staff Services. Let's do the first one tonight, guys, and ready, steady, go. And the private investigation agency card would be a mini homework to check tomorrow. Okay, I know that for tomorrow you're gonna be really busy, but based on how, let's say, demanding the topic got, that is why I'm gonna send you a mini homework so we can check the topic tomorrow. Of course, we will refresh this a little bit. Who would like to try with the first one? Remember that the original sentence was, we interview applicants for you.
I want to try that one.
Okay, yes, Freddie?
So you can have your applicants interviewed.
Mm-hmm, very good.
Okay.
That would be the idea. Excellent. Yes, Freddie. Could you please type it in the chat so we can all see it as well? And let's have a look at the second one, because remember that the third one is the example that we have in our box. It says, we do personality assessments and IQ tests. Who would like to try it?
Me, but I don't know.
Okay.
You can have your personality assessments and IQ tests did, I don't know.
Did is in past simple. We need the past participle.
Done.
Done.
Don't.
Very good.
Okay.
Oh, Stephanie, great. Thanks for trying. Very good. Could you write it down, please, in the chat? Okay. Well, as I was telling you guys, we suffered a little bit more than expected, but you know, that's normal in the process. Of course, I also put my part here, making you suffer unnecessarily. Now that we move from, let's say, basic tenses to more complex ones, it will get really easier for you. Guys, let me remind you. Let me see the chat. You can have your personality assessments and IQ tests done. Excellent. Don't forget, guys, the verbs in past participle. That's that we need. So we already have the first card, let's say, checked. Not this passive voice. You did it. I didn't do it. You did it. Remember that then for ready, steady, go, private and investigation agency card is going to be done by you. Okay. Make sure to have them ready. You don't have to send them to my email or something. When we start the session, we will check the sentences, all of us all together. Okay. Let me see the chat. You can have exercise program design. Second card. Okay. I thought that you were asking me like to have another program design. When? You can have an exercise program design, faltó el an, but the rest is perfect, Angelica. Excellent, guys. Okay, you are getting the hang of it. Okay, very good. I'm really happy about it, guys. But anyway, keep the statements so we can check them tomorrow and once again analyze like every detail that they have. Okay, guys, as usual, thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you, teacher.
Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher.
Take care, everybody.